Time now to turn our attentions to the betting ring. And a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen shots if you were with us on ITV Racing at Sandown of the betting ring. It was empty. Was that a one-off? Is it a sign of the times? Is the future of the betting ring in doubt? There's lots of discussion points, and we're going to put a bit of meat on the bones now, if you like, with some numbers. Sandown Park January meeting that we just referenced there. 1990, the attendance was 6,357, a drop of 1,000 in terms of attendance in 2019. But as you can see from the bookmakers who had pitches, nearly half had been wiped out, if you like. Then we move on to Ascot, today's Clarence House meeting. Attendance figures near enough the same over the last 30 years. But again, nearly half the bookmakers' pitches wiped out. Thank you to the levy board for this information. And this isn't just a sort of southern issue. Haydock Park Peter Marsh meeting, again, nearly half the bookmakers not with pitches anymore. Let's get more on this with Matt.
Yes, Ollie, for many, this area of a racecourse is a friend, a squidgy, cuddly foe, perhaps, who takes your money and sometimes gives you loads back, and you think, yeah, I've beaten the bookie. On other occasions, you see your money disappear into the case or satchel, and you think, you know what, in the next race, I'm just going to try harder and beat you. But is this area of a racecourse the thing of a past? Is this the future? Desolation, no bookmakers, no atmosphere, nothing. Barry Pinnington, of course, is an on-course bookmaker. We know him as Pino. Barry, you are simply the stash?
With the cash. Increase your stash with the tash.
Yes, but that can be good for you, and sometimes it can be good for us. It's a give and take thing. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes we'll win. But in fact, is the future of the betting ring as dead as it feels right now?
No, not at all, Matt. No, I mean, we're early morning, aren't we? The bottom line is the racecourse have never been so good for bookmakers. There's a lot more punters turning up now with plenty of big wages. We're attracting them because they know they can get on. Elsewhere, punters are being restricted on the course. You don't find many punters restricted, however large bets they might want to place.
That all sounds fantastic, except it's not really the true picture, is it, Pino? Because I was at Sandown the other day and there was hardly a bet being taken. How can you paint this picture of wonderfility here in the betting ring when I was at Sandown, stood next to the bookies, and they're all standing there as if they're Britain's most wanted?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm a northern bookie, and up north, to be quite fair, I think the markets are very strong. Haydock today, there'll be 40-odd bookmakers in tats, all taking a reasonable amount of cash. Albeit January, February, it's generally quite quiet in the rings. However, through the winter, we still make it pay. Still people turn up. And obviously in the summer, you get the massive crowds that your everyday punter just wants to turn up and have a few bob on, and we're there to oblige.
But isn't it fair to say pre-exchange, there would have been double that number of bookmakers?
Yeah, definitely pre-exchange, without doubt. I mean, and obviously now there's a lot of bookmakers who double up and treble up and whatever to maybe cover the lack of turnover perhaps that they would have had in the past. However, bookmakers do turn up for a reason, obviously, because they're making money, the bottom line.
What punters will say, Pino, though, is that they get better terms now away from the ring. They get first past the post. They get proper each-way betting terms, not a 50-odd 16 runners, but a quarter the odds, all across the boards, 16 runners. Surely if you lot here in this, what this could be, a desolation, a war zone that has disappeared, if you want to attract people to your ring, you have to offer them proper terms.
I agree. I mean, I do go all the standard place terms, a quarter of the odds, 16 runner plus, handicaps. Quite a lot of the lads don't because...
But why can't you get together as a group and just say, this is unacceptable, we eventually will go out of business if we don't give the punters proper terms that they're used to? Get together.
Yeah, well, the problem is it's the old adage, bookmakers can't work together, unfortunately, on-course one especially. It's a little bit dog-eats-dog. We're all our own businesses. We all like to put our own price on the board. It's a difficult situation, to be honest with you. I prefer to attract punters personally with my branding, increase your stash with a tash, and basically going the proper odds. So I do attract clientele towards myself, and really, hopefully, a lot of the other bookmakers do it in their own way. You will beat the price that they're showing the SP returns, as we all know about the SP returns. But you can always beat that.
Such is the nature of the beast these days, though, Pino. I can stand next to a bookmaker who's not going according to the odds with my mobile phone, go and bet with a bookmaker who is going according to the odds. Don't you feed off the unintelligent, as in, it's not so much that they haven't got intelligence, but the fact that they don't know the game as well as some. And if you just come here, say, for the first time in your life, you're not even going to have any idea what the difference between a quarter and 50 odds is.
No, obviously on our boards we show the price.
It's
of
meaningless. You might as well put up, speed limits or something. It's just meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk for other bookmakers, Matt. I can only talk for myself. And I put a quarter up and I play the game. Okay, I might be slightly under on the prices that the boys that go a fifth each way, because they go a fifth because the place terms don't quite add up to 100%. So I go a quarter and I attract them in my own way. I try and be, a good ambassador for the ring.
It's difficult to know, Pino, quite how you're doing at the moment, because you're slightly an Arthur Daly type character. You've come here with a bacon sandwich stuffed into your trousers. I don't know whether that's a good sign or not. Food on the table. Is Pino making a living at this?
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't be here now, Matt, would I? I've been bookmaking for 30 years. The family's been bookmaking for 40 years. Okay, we have peaks and troughs. This time of the year is not great, but, we rustle through, if you like, and, hopefully there'll be a few more bacon butties on the table later on today.
As I say, this is part of British racing. If this went, one of the great atmospheres, if not the greatest atmosphere on a racecourse, will go. And the hustle and bustle here is still tremendous to see, isn't it?
Of course it is, exactly. I mean, you can't beat live action, can you? I mean, you can sit at home on your armchair watching the racing from home. You can't beat the whiff and the smell and the atmosphere and the bookmakers banter in between races and, the winning money and taking money away from the likes of myself. It's quite an attraction.
Yes, you seem to be a much better taker than giver.
Really interesting stuff there. Let us know your thoughts. Hashtag ITV Racing. Get in touch with us in the social stable. What's your view, Richard?
Well, I think the dynamic of the racecourse betting market changed when the pitches became available for sale, which I think was in the late 90s. Up until then, I think bookmakers had an opinion, and that was the point. You backed against their opinion. Once those pitches were cashed in by many bookmakers, the new generation just played the exchanges, lay slightly, take a small margin. The issue now is the liquidity on exchanges isn't robust enough to enable people to do that as a business model, and that's going to create problems for the ring. Will the old bookmakers want to buy back in? The new bookmakers don't have the margin to play the game like they used to. And the danger is the industry SP potentially suffers. If you go to a market midweek, you've often only got 4 or 5 boards. It doesn't take much money to shorten prices up, given the liabilities off course. And that might mean a change in the SP structure. So I think we can't hark back to how it used to be. It's just a shame that more bookmakers don't back with their opinion like they used to, rather than just try and play the margins against the exchanges.
Could it come full circle, though?
Well, a lot of those that bought out think, yes, it may well do. The value of pitches has gone down in the last 5 or 6 years. The Cheltenham pitches that changed hands aren't worth what they were 5 or 6 years ago. But do people wish to buy back in? And, they're now we're no spring chickens 20 years ago. You cannot beat shopping around to beat a price on course. It's part of the fabric of British racing. But unfortunately, the ring has changed and the makeup of it has, to the detriment of the experience, if you like.